Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Fright Friday right here on Night Owl Video. Today I'm talking about this one, What Lies Beneath. This is one of my favorite thrillers from the 2000s, and so we'll be talking about cast, production, critical response, my thoughts on the film, where you can watch it, and all that jazz. So I hope you'll stick around and check this video out. Thank you to everybody who's recently subscribed. I'm closing in on 400 subscribers, which is amazing, so thank you to everybody who has decided to subscribe and follow along. I really appreciate your support and your enthusiasm, all the amazing comments. And yeah, so let's dive into this thing. So this is What Lies Beneath. This is a supernatural thriller from 2000. This was directed by Robert Zemeckis, who of course did the Back to the Future trilogy, as well as Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Forrest Gump. This guy's, you know, he's just got a lot of good movies to his name. Did he also do The Frighteners, I think? So Robert Zemeckis directed this one. This stars, I mean, there are other stars in this film, but the main stars in this film are Harrison Ford, who of course was Han Solo in the Star Wars series, as well as Indiana Jones. And it also stars Michelle Pfeiffer, who was in Scarface, as well as Batman Returns. There are other actors in this film that are great, but the movie mostly focuses on those two actors and their dynamic. So so that's that. I can see who else is here. Actually, Diana Scarwid is the only other actor that's listed here on the box. So sorry to those other actors that don't get listed. There is like, I forget the guy's name that was in this, who played like the professor. He was supposed to be sort of like the bad guy. I have seen him in some other things, and he's a very good actor, but yeah. So the synopsis for What Lies Beneath is, it had been a year since Dr. Norman Spencer, played by Harrison Ford, betrayed his beautiful wife, Claire, played by Michelle Pfeiffer. But with Claire oblivious to the truth, Norman's life and marriage seem so perfect that when Claire tells him of hearing mysterious voices and seeing a young woman's image in their house, he dismisses her terror as delusional. Claire moves closer to the truth, and it becomes clear that this apparition will not be dismissed and has come back for Dr. Spencer and his wife. Why did he come back for Dr. Spencer and his wife? I'm not going to tell you that because I don't want to spoil the movie for you. Probably most people have already seen this movie that are really into movies and thrillers and stuff. This is a pretty well-known movie, I think. I don't know if this did, I can't remember if this did so well at the box office, but this is I think most people really like this movie. This was the first film directed by Robert Zemeckis' production company, Image Movers. You may see that logo sometimes at the beginning of movies. It's like a train. Image Movers. This was the first one of his production company. Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer were Zemeckis' first and only choices for the lead roles. Zemeckis filmed What Lies Beneath while Castaway was shut down to allow Tom Hanks to lose weight and grow a beard for his character's development. So Robert Zemeckis also did Castaway, I guess. And so that was obviously a busy time for Robert Zemeckis. The house depicted in the film was used for day scenes only. It was torn down after filming because it did not meet local building codes. The rooms were duplicated on an LA soundstage for night scenes, which is too bad because it's a very beautiful house. That was one thing about that movie I always thought was really... there's another Harrison Ford movie that's like one of those Tom Clancy type movies, and he lives in a house very similar to this one. And I always kind of liked the vibe of that house for some reason, but... there is a scene in the trailer in which Claire is looking at a photograph and notices a ghost face in the window. The scene never appears in the movie. Interesting. The theatrical trailer was criticized for spoiling plot twists, including the identity of the ghost. So maybe I just spoiled a little bit of it for you. There is a ghost in the movie, yes. But I do remember that when that came out. When Claire sees Warren and his wife at the party, that's the neighbors, and Warren playfully pretends to kill his wife, like he's like pretending he's stabbing her. That moment was actually improvised by the actor, and I just remember the name of the actor is James Remar, who plays the doctor next door. You kind of have to see the movie to understand the significance of those characters, but suffice to say, it's very much like a Rear Window, the Hitchcock movie. Michelle Pfeiffer's looking out the window, and she's seeing stuff going on next door at James Remar and his wife's house, and she thinks that she's seeing some bad stuff going down. And it's very much like, if you like Rear Window, you will probably like this movie. I would say it's not as amazing as Rear Window, but it's definitely a very, like, if you like those kind of movies, or like Disturbia, you know, like, think something's going on next door, but is it all just in your imagination? But anyway, there is that part is really funny, and I didn't realize that was improvised. So Michelle Pfeiffer thinks James Remar killed his wife. Not to give away too much, but then, like, later on, they're like, no, he didn't kill her. She's very much alive, and she's at this party. And so James Remar is pretending like he's, like, from across the room, he's like, like he's killing her or whatever. And that part was actually improvised. And it's actually a really funny part of the movie. Like, I always forget about that part of the movie, and I just burst out laughing. So it's quite funny. This movie currently holds a 47% on Rotten Tomatoes, which kind of blows my mind a little bit. Roger Ebert gave the film 2 out of 4 stars, writing for the Chicago Sun-Times, saying, quote, "Lacking a smarter screenplay, it milks the genuine skills of its actors and director for more than it deserves, and then runs off the rails in an ending more laughable than scary. Along the way, yes, there are some good moments," unquote. I don't see that at all, and I can't believe that this movie didn't get, like, that people gave it very average to low scores, because I think What Lies Beneath is a great film. I will admit I love Harrison Ford. I always have, ever since I was a kid and saw Star Wars and Indiana Jones, and I've just always really appreciated his acting. I think he's a great actor, even though he didn't intend to be an actor. But, you know, regarding Henry, what's the other one where they go to the Amazon there? Like, he was in so many good movies. The Air Force One, Firewall, which, you know, was okay. But he did so many good movies. The Fugitive. What's the other one? I'm trying to think of the other one that's in Amish country, too. That all those movies, I just thought, you know, wow. He's such a good actor. I really find him quite convincing. And Michelle Pfeiffer is really awesome, too. I've always really liked her in movies, too. So I might be a little biased about this movie. My thoughts, I love this movie, honestly. Since the first time I saw this, which I think was like, I want to say me and my partner rented this on New Year's Eve, maybe in like 2000 or 2001. That was our routine every New Year's. We got a movie and Chinese food. And I just fell in love with this movie right away. I had always... I had seen Rear Window, I think, once or twice before, and I always really loved that movie as well, and I still do to this day. But I really thought that this movie was very reminiscent of that. The acting was really good. The chills, like the thrills. There's, of course, the bathtub scene. If you've ever seen this movie, you know that scene very well. Really quite terrifying in parts. And I mean, the CGI special effects at the end, I guess, were a little, maybe Roger Ebert, I agree, the special effects were a little corny, maybe a little laughable, but that was CGI in the year 2000, or probably this film was made in 1999, so, but I could not make that a complaint for me. I thought this movie was just great. Just great. Harrison Ford... And that's the other thing about this movie is Harrison Ford does not usually play a bad guy. Like, maybe when he turns evil in Temple of Doom for a few minutes, but he doesn't really play like a dark character. And after seeing this movie, I remember saying to my partner, like, he should have done more of these movies. Like, he's so good at playing like a kind of a baddie. I don't think he's done any more like that. You can leave in the comments below, but he always plays the kind of wholesome, like, good guy character, but in this, like, yeah, he's kind of bad and kind of scary at times. This is the 2000 DVD from DreamWorks Home Entertainment. This has a runtime of 2 hours and 10 minutes, which a little longer than what I'd like, but I think the pacing in this film is stellar. It moves along at a really good pace. I don't think there's any real lulls in it. Some of the jump scares are a little trite, but I forgive it because I think it's a really good film. This is the year 2000 DVD. This is a Region 1 DVD. What else can I say? It's PG-13 in Canada. The special features on this particular edition, which is the widescreen DVD, are a commentary with award-winning director Robert Zemeckis, HBO's popular first look behind-the-scenes featurette, production notes, and detailed cast and filmmaker bios. It also has the suspenseful theatrical trailer. I like how they had to add an adjective into it. But Dennis Cunningham of WCBS says, a first-class thriller. This is put out by DreamWorks Entertainment. Highly recommend this. If you love Rear Window, if you love Hitchcock, if you love Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer, Robert Zemeckis. Again, I cannot believe that this just gets very average reviews, because I really like this movie. I thought it was really well executed. The acting was great. Harrison Ford, again, was just kind of terrifying in this movie. So I would highly recommend this. You can currently rent this on Prime, Amazon Prime, Apple TV, and the Cineplex app in Canada. And you can find this DVD at pretty much any thrift store. This is a very common DVD to come across, so if you want to get yourself a physical copy, it's pretty easy to track down. I've even had this on VHS before. It's a pretty common one, but I see this DVD around all the time. So if you want to hold out and wait till you find it on physical media, go for it. This one has nothing on the inside. It's just a very bland, the logo is very bland. It's one of those cases that has those annoying, whose idea was it to do these things, these tabs? Don't know. Very annoying. I remember snapping those off of the case back in the day when they first came out with those. But so yeah, I would highly recommend this movie. This is so rewatchable for me. I watch this probably once a year or once every couple of years. I played it for my mom a couple of years ago. She was actually genuinely terrified, and I'm actually still in trouble for letting her watch that, because she does not like scary movies. And I definitely learned from watching this with her. So yeah, this would be ultra scary for like some older little ladies. But let me know your thoughts on What Lies Beneath. Again, I love this movie. I could really rave on about this for quite some time, but I won't drag it out. I'm surprised it's not on any streaming service, but that is kids. That's why I'm telling you, you got to work on your physical media, because in a lot of cases you can't watch these movies anywhere. I mean, you can rent them, but you know, not everybody has the luxury of doing that. So go out and grab these. Like I said, this one's really common. I see this all the time. So if you do want to get a copy, go snag one. That's my thoughts on What Lies Beneath, the Robert Zemeckis film starring Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer. Let me know your thoughts. And James Remar, of course, with the stuff. If you've seen that movie, you know that scene. It is so funny. But that's my thoughts on What Lies Beneath. I'm trying to think of what's coming up. Next week, I'm going to be reviewing the Stuart Gordon film Castle Freak, so be sure to check that out on my Cult Movie Tuesdays review on Tuesday. And at this stage, I don't know what I'll be doing for Fright Friday yet, but like I said, or I may have said this, but I'm just recovering from pneumonia, so I spent like 2 weeks in bed, and I watched so many movies. So I have so many movies to review coming up, so be sure to stick around for all kinds of new content coming. Consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Give me the thumbs up if you like this review or this kind of content. Follow me over on Instagram at Night Owl Video. And until next time, I will see you at the video store or at the thrift store or just out and about somewhere. But until next time, take good care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video.